In a couple of weeks.
Oh, are you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Good afternoon and welcome to a spectacular fall Friday in the Northern Tier, as this afternoon the Mountaineers welcome our guests, the Griffins of Seton Hill University. At this time, let's meet the starting lineup for both teams. For Seton Hill, starting at midfield, she's a senior from Wilson, New York, number 1, Rachel Cabo. At midfield, she's a freshman from Akron, New York, number 3, Olivia Daibo. At forward, a sophomore from Gold Coast, Australia, number 4, Gabriella Oxley. At midfield, she's a senior from Allentown, PA, number 5, Molly Carbone. At midfield, a junior from Doylestown, number 11, Colleen Roy. At midfield, she's a junior from El Cajon, California, number 12, Michaela Swift-Malore. At midfield for the Griffins, she's a senior from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, number 14, Nicole Susi. At forward, a senior from Wilmington, Delaware, number 16, Winsome Gatson. At midfield, a freshman from Greensburg, number 21, Max McMichael. On defense, a sophomore from Latrobe, PA, number 22, Gracie Stinchula. And rounding out the starting lineup for Seton Hill, she's the goalkeeper, a senior from Pittsburgh, 38, Elizabeth Armbruster. The head coach in her first season, Courtney Grove. The assistant coaches are Morgan Comport and Molly Childress. And now let's meet the starting lineup for your Mountaineers. Starting in goal, she is the Britt Wall, a senior from Burnt Hills, New York, captain number 2, Brittany Ryan. At midfield, she's a junior from New Cumberland, one of the Mountaineer captains, number 10, Caitlin Bodie. And the tri-captain, she's a defenseman from Sellersville, Pennsylvania, senior number 26, Meghan Griffin. And now the remainder of your Mansfield starting lineup. At midfield, a freshman from Stroudsburg, number 7, Kaylin Duke. At forward, she's a senior from Percy, number 9, Larissa Mott. At midfield, a freshman from Selingsgrove, number 12, Sarah Mae Radell. At forward, a senior from Nazareth, Pennsylvania, number 14, leading goal scorer, Dana Evans. At midfield, a junior from Dallas, PA, number 16, Michaela Chacon. On defense for the Mounties, she's a senior from Reading, number 17, Madison Walensky. On defense, a freshman from Kitchener, Ontario, Canada, number 24, Hannah Meyer. And at forward, a senior from Keene, New Hampshire, number 31, Christy Beyer. The Mansfield head coach in her 5th season, Miss Brittany Hansroth. The assistant coach, Christian Linney.
Ryan, who were the volunteer assistants? One's, I can't remember. Okay.
UPMC is a visionary hospital, cutting-edge research, all of the exciting things out on the edge of medicine.
There's a challenge every day, and there's the potential to help. When given the opportunity to make a difference in someone's life, that's a tremendous feeling.
UPMC's interest in bringing the best there is in the science and research and bringing that bench side to the bedside is what makes a huge difference.
Life-changing medicine is not only medical treatment or surgical treatment, but giving patients hope.
It's all part of Mother Nature's perfect blend.
the keystone of the Keystone State. Visit Potter Tioga, a 2-county scenic outdoor haven conveniently located, yet worlds apart. A place where you can kick back, unwind, and forget about the pressures of life. Disconnect and reconnect with your friends, family, or even yourself while surrounded by nature's beauty. So start planning your adventures today at visitpottertioga.com.
From court to court and lane to lane under the lights.
It is PSAC Sportsmanship Week here, as this is an initiative set by the conference, and every team will take part in a pregame handshake. It's also Officials Appreciation Week in the PSAC.
Mansfield University and Seton Hill wish to recognize a very important part of today's game during official.
So the handshake with.
Often overlooked and underappreciated is the amount of time, effort, and dedication the
players and the officials here. Hello, everybody. I'm Drew Patrick. I'll be bringing you the action of this PSAC matchup between your Mansfield Mountaineers and the visiting Seton Hill Griffins.
At this time, we would ask that you please show appreciation.
You know, this is a little bit of a change for the Mansfield Mountaineers, as it is a Friday. This is their first game they've had on a Friday, and of course we're starting a little bit early than normal. They're used to their weekday games being 4 o'clock starts. So I talked with Coach Hansroth about those changes, and she says really it shouldn't affect her team. It shouldn't be that much of a mental change for this team. She says they had a good warm-up before the game, and they're ready to go. I also had a chance to talk to Coach Hansroth about her keys to this game. The first one is the Mansfield Mountaineers want to control this game. If they're working and have control and are in the offensive zone for the majority of the game, they feel like they can be effective. The second thing she said was they have to be sound fundamentally, especially in the passing game. At times this season, passes haven't been clear, and they've taken away some offensive opportunities for the Mansfield Mountaineers. And then the last thing, they can't have any mental lapses. In the last time these two teams faced each other, at the beginning of the game, Seton Hill scored less than a minute in due to a quick mental lapse by this Mansfield defense. She says they can't have any of that. It doesn't matter what the record might say across the way. Mansfield has to come in here, play focused, and play their style. Of course, you got the starting lineups from our Hall of Famer, Mr. Chris Vaughn. And the teams are doing their last pregame preparations before we start things off here between the Mansfield Mountaineers and the Griffins of Seton Hill. Mansfield will have first touch. And we are underway. First pass goes back to Griffin, who will swing it to the outside for Bodie. Bodie charging forward. Duke back to the middle and spins around and gives this back to Riddell. Mansfield's coming off a very huge 3-0 win against IUP as they're charging down into the circle now. And our first corner of the contest comes here early. As I was mentioning with that 3-0 contest, it was a shutout. Brittany Ryan became the all-time leading in career shutouts for the Mansfield field hockey program in that game. In that last game, they've had a successful season thus far, 8-3 on the year, the Mansfield Mountaineers, but they're still looking for that first win here in this facility, and they're hoping that can be today. Work to the outside. Cracked at it. Gets by one. And Evans fighting for it. And it gets swung out. Christy Beyer comes up with it. Swings it back into Evans. Evans turned around. Shot blocked in front. Oh, no, that's another corner coming up for the Mansfield Mountaineers. So they had a couple chances, but now we'll get a second chance at a corner. Kaylin Duke to take on the far side. This one swung in. Bodie pushes it over. Back in front. Hops up in the air. Turnaround shot goes wide of the goal. So another great chance. Had a chance off Evans' stick. Had a chance off Larissa Mott's stick, but nothing doing. There for the Mountaineers. This pass goes awry. And Mansfield gets possession back. Caitlin Bodie off of Griffin's stick and forward, but backing up and swings this one out. Keeps it in play, but stuck in the corner. Tries the big swing on it. And the Griffins now working their way forward. Walensky there defensively. Swings this one to the outside for Sarah May Riddell. Up to Michaela Chacon. Forward into the circle. Evans swings this one across. Was looking for Motts, but got past her. Seton Hill and gets out of danger first. Bodie cuts down the pass. We'll swing it to the outside for Larissa Motts. And in. Beyer fighting for it. But off of her foot, whistle back to the Griffins. Lofted in the air. Riddell got the first touch. They were looking ahead for Nicole Susi, but nothing doing. Back into the circle. Pass back behind. Evans tries the shot. It gets blocked in front. And kicked back out. Mansfield keeping up the pressure. And now on the far side. Taken away. Evans was looking for Beyer, who was standing alone. Got the whistle. Swung to the outside. Michaela Chacon into the circle. Gets past one. And a corner coming up for the Mountaineers. Kaylin Duke to take. Duke, a freshman from Stroudsburg, Pennsylvania. Swung out. Caitlin Bodie right there. Swings it to Griffin. Griffin cracks it in front of the net. And it kind of just hovered there in no man's land. Swings back. Duke will force it forward. Back for Evans and another corner coming up for the Mountaineers. Is this corner number 4 here early in this first quarter of play? Elizabeth Armbruster is the keeper for the Griffins. Speaking of Griffin, smacked by Meg Griffin, goes high of the goal. And now back to Seton Hill. Or no, back to Meg Griffin. And she'll look to work forward. Riddell has it. It gets taken away. Trying to weave through is Nicole Susi. Looking forward. Walensky got a touch. And Rachel Cobo will be called for the interference. And Mansfield will push forward. Larissa Motts stopped in front. Swings it to the outside. Susi once again. Has some green in front. Will look to walk forward. Has Bodie behind. Working down that line. And Mansfield regains possession. Bodie goes back to Walensky. Walensky surveying the field will cross it to Hannah Meyer. To Riddell forward. Now to Michaela Chacon. The big swing looking down to Evans. Evans has speed, gets back into the circle, swings it out sideways, caught it cleanly. Shot is good! And Meghan Griffin gets the goal for the Mountaineers. Meghan Griffin leads the team in assists. Here she gets one for herself. That is goal number 2 on the year for Meghan Griffin. And Mansfield is up 1-0 here in the first quarter. Looking forward to Beyer. Beyer quickly goes outside. Working down that line. And Mansfield back up. It goes back to Seton Hill.
Mansfield goal is the second goal of the season for the senior from Sellersville, number 26, Meghan Griffin. Meghan Griffin, second of the season. The assist goes to number 14, Dana Evans. Senior Dana Evans, assist on the goal, the second of the season for Meghan Griffin.
Swings this one forward. Seton Hill trying to counter. Hannah Meyer trying to back down and push forward. And they'll go back to Walensky. Walensky will come across the field to Kaylin Duke. Leaving it for Michaela Chacon, but just a tad ahead now to play. Olivia Dybel will leave it and then look forward. Oxley was looking for Susie, but taken away by Bodie. And whistle. Bodie goes backwards towards Madison Walensky. So we talked about Brittany Ryan, the Brit Wall, her big accomplishment after the last game, her career accomplishment. But Maddie Walensky is now the career leader in defensive saves. She has 4 of them this year, and that puts her atop by 2 defensive saves on the all-time leaderboard for her. So 2 of these seniors who have been incredible for this program on the defensive side. And a lot of the times those on the defensive side you don't get a lot of credit. But those 2 have been just outstanding in their careers. Dancing around the middle. And delayed whistle, but Mansfield will have possession. Walensky surveying the field, launches this one high. Gets by one, Meghan Griffin has it. And swung to the outside. Chacon up to Beyer. Beyer in the far corner. Weaving through. Evans comes up with it in the circle, pushed out of the circle. Kaylin Duke pushes it back in. And off of a foot, so back to Seton Hill. Looking forward, rolls through a couple of players. Meghan Griffin had it.
Sarah May Radell checking back in.
Bodie swings back into the center of the circle. Evans makes a move, stepping forward. Shot is blocked in front. This one loose. Turnaround shot goes wide. And another chance, but blocked in front. And a corner. Once again, coming up 6 minutes and 6 seconds remain here in quarter number 1. Mansfield leads off of a Meghan Griffin goal. Michaela Chacon will take this one. This one swung out to Griffin. Griffin swings it back to the side. Turnaround shot. Blocked in front. Back into the circle. Christy Byer, turnaround shot is blocked in front and taken away by Seton Hill. Big shot here. Rolls past everybody and out of play. Walensky pushing forward to Emily Sadowski. That's another weapon Mansfield has back here in this game, Emily Sadowski, who's missed a couple of games this year due to injury.
Number 7, Kayla Duke waiting to check back in for Mansfield. And also number 11, Olivia Wagner waits to come back in.
Sadowski drops it back to Caitlin Bodie. Bodie. Back to Sadowski. Pushing forward. Evans, just a quick touch. Easterling couldn't quite handle it, and it goes out of play. This is game number 2 against Seton Hill this year. Of course, the first one doesn't count for standings on the year. This one will count for conference standings. Mansfield had a 6-1 victory in that last matchup at Seton Hill. And right now they have a 1-0 advantage in this one. Working on the far side. Gatson. And a whistle is called back to the Mountaineers.
26, Meghan Griffin looking to check in as well. Meghan Griffin waiting to check back in.
This one forward. That's Olivia Wagner on the far side fighting. And winning that fight causes a whistle. And they'll push forward, but stopped in front and turned around. Colleen Roy, who has it now, pushes it forward. Swung back to the outside. And taken away. Push ahead. No one there except white shirts. And they'll just push back. Going back and forth, kind of in between 30 and the 50. This one gets across midfield. Susie fighting for it with Caitlin Bodie. And Bodie will win the battle, forces the whistle. Sadowski drops it back to Walensky. Swings it across. And looking forward, Riddell to Byer. Byer gets by one, can't get by a second, but Mansfield still has possession. Pushing back forward to Byer. Stick went high. Mansfield will get the touch. 2 minutes, 7 seconds to go here in quarter number 1. Mansfield leads 1-0. The new switch this year from halves to quarters. Riddell forward. Back into the circle. Wagner there. Stepping side, trying to turn around and push her shot. Goes out to Griffin. Griffin weaving. And they'll just force it backwards to Riddell. Now back into the circle. And still a chance. Fighting for it on that far side in a corner. Coming up. Kaylin Duke to take. This is corner number 6 here in this first quarter of play. Swung out to Griffin. Griffin over to Motts. Motts, a quick shot. It's blocked in front. Turnaround shot. And a corner. Another one coming up. So we'll do it over. Corner number 7. Out. Oh, but that one gets by. And Mansfield's got to get back numbers-wise. Walensky forward to Motts. Motts tripped up. Mansfield will have it right outside the circle. Duke pushes it back. Caitlin Bodie went over the circle, passed into the center, and another corner. 8 corners we've had with 30 seconds just over left to go in this first quarter, but it's only 1-0. And that last corner was mishandled. Swung out. Out by Riddell. Swings it over. Goes back to her. Steps forward. It's blocked in front. Second one blocked. Turnaround shot. Kicked away. Second chance. Oh, man. Christy Byer got close. But it ekes past her. And back to the Griffins. The big swing back into the middle. And Sarah May Riddell forces a whistle. 7 seconds back into the circle. Rolls up over one and then hit away. Although that rolled high. And that is going to do it for the first quarter of play. The score here, 1-0. Mansfield leads off a goal by Meghan Griffin. Do not go anywhere. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is Mansfield Field Hockey on Mountie All Access, presented by Visit Potter Tioga.
Life-changing medicine is not only medical treatment or surgical treatment, but giving patients hope.
UPMC brings so much to the table. They're just a comprehensive visionary system.
UPMC is innovative and always on the cutting edge of technology.
Defining not only healthcare, but health.
Its expertise, its focus on patients and what is best for patients.
As UPMC, we're able to elevate the standard of care. Just a wonderful opportunity.
Back here getting ready for the second quarter of play. Well, Griffin got a goal, just not the Seton Hill Griffins. It was Meghan Griffin for the Mansfield Mountaineers, who put the Mounties up 1-0 in that first half, or that first quarter, of play. And Mansfield just controlled this game. Seton Hill didn't get a shot off in that first quarter of play. Mansfield had 17 shots, forced the keeper, Elizabeth Arms, to make 10 saves, and Mansfield had 8 penalty corner attempts. That was Elizabeth Armsbuster, who is in goal for the Griffins. Seton Hill has done an excellent job defending those corners, as that one goal by Griffin was not off one of those corners. And we're just about ready to go here in quarter number 2. The Mounties lead 1-0. Meghan Griffin swings it over to Duke. Duke pushing forward, back to Bodie. But it's taken away, and it goes out of play off of a Mountaineer. Olivia Dybel pushing forward, now into the circle. And a corner coming up for the Seton Hill Griffins. Their first corner. And it will be taken by Jade Taylor. Swung out. Roy hits it in front, and it will go wide of the goal. Nothing doing, but an opportunity for the Seton Hill Griffins to try and knot this one up. Just goes wide. Walensky looking forward. Chacon on that far side. She'll try to force this forward. 2 defenders there. Blocks it back. And they tried for a quick restart. Gadsden. Nothing doing. Christy Byer got in the way. Forces the whistle. Back to the Mountaineers. Byer spins around. And finally taken away by Riddell. Forced forward, but no one there except white shirts. Carbone out to Gadsden. Gadsden pushes it forward, but Sarah Mae Riddell not letting things get by her. And now Dana Evans right outside the circle. Back into the circle. Meghan Griffin looks forward. Off of a foot, back to the Seton Hill Griffins. This one high, takes a couple of bounces. Walensky right there at midfield will pass it back to Caitlin Bodie. Bodie pushes it forward, gets past Newsom. Now over to Duke. And a strong fight by Olivia Dybel is going to win that fight and get possession. She'll look to cut forward. It gets by Riddell. And Jade Taylor has it. But it went off of a foot. And now Mansfield trying to go quickly. Chacon had it poked away from her. But then teams fighting it right around midfield for possession. Ahead to Byer. Christy Byer gets by one. Won't get by the second defender. And it will be possession Seton Hill. Can't get enough on the swing. Was looking for the big one, but kind of topped the ball. So Mansfield still in good position. Into the circle, goes wide of the goal. Was looking for Dana Evans in the circle, and the pass just kind of spun her around backwards. And it goes past the end line. This one forward. Kaylin Duke ends up with it. We'll cross it back into the middle for Evans. Pushed forward. And it goes by Byer and past the end line for the Griffins to pick it up. Molly Carbone, the senior from Allentown, Pennsylvania, will launch this one. We'll look to go into the middle. But once again, Sarah Mae Riddell not letting the ball get past her. This one forward again, just a little too far in front of Dana Evans in the circle. The big swing gets by everybody. And Brittany Ryan will come out of her goal, kick it away.
Number 1, Rachel Cabo awaits to check in for
Riddell.
Seton Hill. Number 1, Cabo.
Looking forward, Meghan Griffin. Christy Byer now with it. Outside the circle, drops it back to Griffin. Griffin high up in, but it lofted on her. She got too much under it. And potentially dangerous. Back out to Seton Hill. Swung to the far side. That is Gadsden. And out of play. One out of play on the far side. Mansfield has another home contest next week as they welcome Slippery Rock, of the teams that they've seen before taking on East Stroudsburg and Kutztown for the very first time on the road on the 19th and 22nd. Swung to the near side. It's Duke. Duke looking back to Bodie. Bodie bats it forward, but it's stopped. And now there's Griffin. Griffin charges up. Swung out. Gets by one. Draws a whistle right outside the circle. To Evans. Evans trying to go quick touch, but back swung. Duke looking forward. Turnaround pass, shot, and good! That's another goal for the Mansfield Mountaineers. This one, Olivia Wagner will push this one in. Just crossed it to the other side of the cage and tapped in by Wagner. And that is Olivia Wagner's second goal of the season. And Mansfield's up 2-0. Mansfield looking like they're not going to settle with that. Attacking forward. Goes off of a foot. So Mansfield will keep possession. And the Mounties. Back to Walensky. Walensky, big slap.
Second goal of the season for the freshman from New Cumberland, PA, Olivia Wagner. Wagner's second goal. The assist goes to number 31, senior Christy Byer, and that is her fourth assist. Fourth assist for Byer on the second goal for the freshman from New Cumberland, Olivia Wagner.
So both teams get whistled for a high hit. Mansfield eventually will get this possession. Looking forward. Swung to the outside. It's Sadowski into the circle, but slapped away. Seton Hill attacking forward. But Walensky, a wall there to Evans. Right outside the circle, backing up and now attacking forward. Gets by one, but it gets taken away from her. A great play by Molly Carbone. But the Griffins can't really get an offensive attack going the other way. They finally come up with possession. Zion Newsom forward.
Three more Mansfield subs wait to come into the game. Number 9, Larissa Mott.
Walensky looking sideways. It's Kaylin Duke. Looking ahead and passing ahead. Easterling. battling for it on the near side. And a battle that's ultimately won by Olivia Dybel, a freshman from Akron, New York. But she's unable to clear. As they'll go back and forth in the middle. Duke. Duke will go backwards to Walensky, charging up. Walensky into the circle for Evans. Evans backing down, turnaround shot blocked in front. And it rolled up and hit Wagner, so the Seton Hill Griffins will take over. Initial pass mishandled, goes out of play. Forward, Byer fighting for it. Right on the circle, and a corner is coming up. 5:02 left to go here in the first half, in the second quarter of the first half. Mansfield up 2-0, but still looking for a goal off of a corner here today. They've had their chances, but unable to get one out of this position yet today. Bodie swings it. Griffin smacked in front. And another corner coming up.
Number 14, Nicole Susie, checking in for the Griffins. This is number 14, Nicole Susie.
Griffin swings it over. Back to Griffin. Fires this one. It goes off of a stick and up. And we'll do it a third time. Corner coming up. Now Griffin slaps this one forward and gets tipped away. So the Griffins survive once again, that time 3 corners. Sarah Mae Riddell comes back into the contest. This one hacked forward. And Mansfield on that far side. Tacking back into the circle, Dana Evans. And it goes off of her foot back to Seton Hill. Evans fighting for it. And a corner once again coming up. This one swung out. Looking over to Byer. Byer, big hack in front, goes wide of the goal. Griffin, quick tap back. Now they'll look forward, but stopped. Deemer can't get it ahead. Sadowski comes up with it. He was looking for Wagner, but it was cut down. Hannah Meyer goes forward to Wagner on the far side. Gadsden playing tight on her, now forward. Into the circle and into another corner. 2 minutes, 33 seconds remain here in quarter number 2. Mansfield up 2-0. First goal was by Meghan Griffin. Second goal, Olivia Wagner. Wagner, who's going to take this corner. Swings to the side. Push forward. Oh, this one just wide of the goal. And all alone having a chance was Alex Easterling, the freshman from Wilmington, Delaware. It just goes. Was worked around in front. Can't quite push it forward. Here come the Griffins looking towards the near side. Fighting for it was Susie and Sadowski. Won by Sadowski. Now Caitlin Bodie with nothing doing. Easterling gets through one. Goes past the end line off of a Seton Hill Griffin. Back to Mansfield. 25 yards out. Back to Walensky. Walensky slides this one over. Odell looking forward. And a whistle, and Griffin possession. With a minute to go here in this first half, second quarter. Mansfield trying to go quickly, has some urgency. It's another corner coming up for the Mansfield Mountaineers. 52 seconds left on the clock. Olivia Wagner. Slides it over to Motts. Motts hacked in front. Goes wide of the goal. Sadowski, quick hands to stop that hit. Easterling was looking towards the center for Evans. It was taken away. Back to Sadowski. Looking forward. 23 seconds and counting. Have to go. Looking forward. Push to the other side. And that will do it for the half. Mansfield has the lead 2-0 over the Seton Hill Griffins. And they've had their opportunities. We're going to take a break. We will break down that first half for you and tell you what both teams need to do to get a win here in this one. Do not go anywhere. This is Mansfield Field Hockey on Mountie All Access, presented by Visit Potter Tioga.
Welcome to Explore the Possibilities with Visit Potter Tioga. I'm Titus.
And I'm Natalie, and today we're exploring Stony Fork Creek Campground, nestled in the scenic mountains near our Pennsylvania Grand Canyon. And joining us today is Randy Grimm, owner of the Stony Fork Creek Campground. Randy, could you tell us a little bit about the layout of the campground?
The campground is approximately 200 acres. It has a trout stream running through it. The Stony Fork Creek has a small lake. Both are stocked, and 214 sites altogether, and lots of things to have fun doing.
So what are some of the options you offer in tent camping for the nature enthusiasts who prefer just the basics?
Well, we have about 60 tent sites all along the stream. Some of them are very primitive, and then we have some with electric and water. To get to the sites, you do have to drive through the stream. Every campsite has a fire ring, a picnic table, and bathhouses, very convenient to the campsites. And we're in a valley next to the canyon, so there's 200,000 acres of wooded area next to all the tent sites. So you can get back in away from everybody if you want to and be by yourself.
Now, how about those who have campers or RVs? Do you cater to all sizes, or is there a limit to how big they can be?
We can handle anything that they make out there. We have big sites, we have pull-through sites, we got some in totally shade, get some out in the sun for the people like that. You can be along the lake that you can fish right from your site. You can be close to the playground so you can watch your children. All of our sites have 20, 30, and 50 amp services on them, so we can handle just about anything you can bring.
Now, Randy, if a couple or a small family is looking for the camping experience but would still prefer 4 walls and a roof overhead, do you have an option to offer them as well?
We do. We have 6 cabins available. All of our cabins have full bathrooms. The deluxe cabins have full kitchens. They have full-size beds, bunk beds. They all have dinette tables. Some of them have sofas in them. They have covered porches on most of them. They all have fire rings and picnic tables out back. And most of the cabins will hold 4 to 6 people. We do have free Wi-Fi. We're out here in the middle of nowhere. You have to keep that in mind because it's sketchy. And we do have some cell phone service, Verizon boosters around the buildings, but we can get you Wi-Fi.
What about additional facilities in the campground? You mentioned showers and a bathhouse, but is there a place to do laundry?
Well, everybody gets dirty when they're camping, especially down by the lake, but we do have a laundry facility here, and we have 4 bathhouses. 2 of them are fairly large. They have 3 showers, 3 baths on both sides, and then we have the one in the tenting area, which is smaller, and then we have the one in the primitive area, which is a little smaller than that.
With such a great location and so much ground to cover, it's easy to see you have something for everyone right here in the campground. What are some of the activities you offer children and adults?
Well, every Friday night we have a hayride that takes you the whole way through the campground. The campground's about a half mile long from one end to the other. Several times through the year we have a pig roast, we have some chicken barbecues, we have bingo, we have kids games up here on the holidays, we have a reptile show on holiday weekends, we have a game room, we have horseshoes, volleyball. There's a swimming pool. We have 2 different playgrounds. We have a dragon paddle boat and some other paddle boats down there in our lake. And you can also bring your own kayak, canoe to fish out of. So there's plenty of things to do, and the fishing is great in the pond. One other unique feature we have here at the campground is we have 3 horse stalls up here. You can bring your horses. There's a trail from the campground to the canyon, and then you can ride in the canyon for about 7 miles.
Randy, we're tucked back into a beautiful, peaceful spot, and yet we can't be that far from any other attractions. Is that correct?
Oh, there's plenty of attractions around here. We have the Pennsylvania Grand Canyon Overlook is only 7 miles away. Wellsboro downtown is 8 miles straight in this road. And then we have the covered wagon ride, which is probably 10-15 minutes, and the train ride downtown.
I noticed in the office you had what looked like a pretty well-stocked store. As we all know, no matter how planned you are, someone always forgets something.
You're sure right about that. Everybody forgets something. We have a little bit of everything. We have food, we have milk, we have eggs, we have bacon, we have all kinds of camping supplies that you might forget, toiletries and things like that. We also have canned goods and just a little bit of everything. We have ice, firewood, whatever you need, it's there. The hours are Friday nights, so we're open until like 11 o'clock, everybody checked in. But then most of the other days, it's 9 to 5.
Well, Randy, I'm hooked. Where would I go to start making reservations?
Well, you can either call the office directly, or you can go online to our website and put a request in for a site, and we will call you back within 24 hours.
Randy, you truly have a beautiful campground out here. Thank you so much for all the information you've been able to provide us today.
Well, thank you very much. I appreciate that and appreciate you guys coming out today, and looking forward to seeing everybody at the campground.
For further information and other activities, check out our website at visitpottertayoga.com.
I'm Titus.
And I'm...
We're here at halftime. Folks, the score, the Mansfield Mountaineers lead the Seton Hill Griffins 2-0. after one half of play. The 2 goals for the Mansfield Mountaineers. The first one was by Meghan Griffin. 5 minutes into the game, just a heck of a shot. Got that one in. Then Olivia Wagner, her second goal of the season, came later on in the second quarter. So one each quarter and each a goal for the Mansfield Mountaineers. And they lead by that score 2-0. And that one, if you look at most statistical categories, it's pretty lopsided here, folks. Mansfield's out shooting Seton Hill 23-0 right now. Seton Hill really hasn't had an offensive chance. They had one corner in that second quarter of play, but they weren't able to get a shot off of it as the Mansfield defense clamped down. Coach Hansroth said about the Mansfield Mountaineer team is they don't want to have any lapses, and thus far they have lived up to that. And they've been solid. They've controlled the game. They've controlled the pace, and it's evident with the statistics that has gone their way. If there's been one thing that the Mansfield faithful need to improve on, it's converting those corners. They've had 14 opportunities. They have not had a goal off of any of those 14 opportunities off a corner. Both goals came outside of corner situations. So Mansfield's finding ways to score in this game, but not the ways that are supposed to come easily or easier for this team. Folks, looking forward and looking ahead, tomorrow make sure you come back here to Mounting All Access at 4 o'clock as we have Mansfield soccer coming off a heartbreaking loss on Wednesday. The team looks to rebound against Lockhaven. That's tomorrow at 4 o'clock. Before next Wednesday, we're back here for field hockey as Slippy Rock comes to town. As Mansfield, they break their first huddle. They have that lead. Let's talk about what both teams really need to do to get a win. Seton Hill needs these counters to work, and they need to get an offensive attack. Again, they have not been able to get a shot. They got a corner opportunity, but weren't able to come away with a shot there. You need offense when you're down 2 goals. Seton Hill has to do a better job of getting their passes clean and attacking. And I'd say the same thing for Mansfield is keep the foot on the gas pedal, and in the same thing meaning the passes. Mansfield had a couple of tough passes that they couldn't handle. That was something Coach wanted them to work on and be sound fundamentally. And they struggled a bit with that in the first half. We're just about ready to get things going here. Once again, Mansfield and Seton Hill field hockey, 2-0 the score, with Mansfield on top. And Seton Hill will have the first touch of this half. And the Griffins will just drop it back to start. Swings it out towards the outside. Lifts it forward. And now attacking forward. Susie on the far side. Continuing to push. And this one off of a foot, back to the Mountaineers, and it'll be Maddie Walensky to take. Walensky gliding forward and swings it out to the outside. Duke a quick touch into no man's land. And this one forward and past the end line. And Mansfield gets possession once again. Far side, it's Bodie working forward. Chacon for Byer and out of play. And the Seton Hill Griffins will continue to inch their way down the near side. Winsome Gatson will look forward. And forward, Michaela Chacon looking for Byer. Byer forward, but no one home. And it gets smacked back into the midfield. And Seton Hill does a good job of knocking this one back out. Looking forward, Michaela Chacon. Taking away Olivia Dybel. Works towards the outside for Cobo. That one rolled up and smacked Kaylin Duke. And a whistle. Larissa Mott's on the far side. She had a hat trick in their last game against IUP. Her first career hat trick. Dana Evans has 2 hat tricks on the year. They're your 2 leading scorers for this team this year. Bodie. It's by one. Molinski comes up with it, looking towards the near side. Michaela Chacon will adjust and hit forward. Byer. Bounces into no man's land and off a foot. Swinging it back towards the side. That one past the sideline and
checking in for the Mountaineers, number 28 is Alex Esterling. Waiting to check in is number 11, Olivia Wagner, and number 13, Emily Sadowski.
Chacon again. Dancing by that side. Forward to Meghan Griffin. Swings it out looking for Byer, but 2 defenders were there. Chacon. Back towards the middle. Swung back towards Walensky. Walensky switches sides to Caitlin Bodie. Bodie forward to Duke. And back to Seton Hill.
Number 9, Larissa Mox, also waits to check in for the Valley.
This year, Mansfield Athletics and Mountie All Access are proud to partner with Visit Potter Tioga. Explore the possibilities with the keystone of the Keystone State, Potter and Tioga counties in Pennsylvania. Outdoor recreation lives here with 10 state parks, 2 federal parks, and over 400,000 acres of state forest land. Visit us online at Visit PotterTioga.com to plan your next adventure. Mansfield had a chance there, but unable to come up. Larissa Mott's back into the game for the Mountaineers. Working down on that far side, taken away by Gabriella Oxley. And Seton Hill trying to turn on the speed on the far side and look forward, but Caitlin Bodie cuts that one out. And looking forward, trying to track it down, and does, back into the circle and cleared right back out. Forward, Evans swings it out to Motts. Motts, forward, tapped, and a corner is coming up. As Evans' stick kind of got caught up in Carbone and Jade Taylor. Mansfield's 15th opportunity on a corner. 8 minutes to go in the third quarter of play here in the second half. Bodie swings it. Byer, big smack in front, wide of the goal. And once again, an empty corner for the Mountaineers. Far side inching forward, stolen by the Mountaineers. The Mounties looking forward into the circle. Byer with the first tap. And she will get the whistle called on her. And then we'll go back to the Griffins. On the far side, gets by one. Continuing to push it forward. Sadowski came sliding in to cut this one out. Looking out for Byer. But the pass a little behind and couldn't quite save it on this near side.
Substitutions waiting to come in for the Mountaineers. Number 16, Michaela Chicken. Number 26,
There's Sadowski once again. But got a little over anxious. And it goes back to Seton Hill. Griffins of Seton Hill coached by Courtney Grove. And it's her first year coaching these Griffins on the field hockey team, but not her first season at Seton Hill, as she's also the lacrosse coach and has been the lacrosse coach for 9 years. And has has filled in the role for a head coach for the field hockey program this season. Forward, blocked down by Hannah Meyer. Meyer to Byer. Leaving it for Wagner. Wagner looked to attack. Right outside the circle is where they'll start. To Byer, but the pass again just a little bit behind. Molly Carbone looking forward. Just a quick little tap. Dana Evans spins around one. Back into the center and cleared out, but not out of danger yet. Griffin looking forward, shot. And once again, Meghan Griffin gets on the board. That's a goal for the Mounties. Well, Meghan Griffin sure wants to show her namesake that she's playing. Her second goal of the game, unassisted. So Mansfield keeping up their trend of a goal a period. As Mansfield now leads 3-0 in this contest. 4 minutes, 20 seconds and counting left to go in the third quarter. But Seton Hill trying to respond quickly. This one's going to go wide of the goal. As they tried to look for the pass ahead, and Brittany Ryan's just going to let that one go. And she hasn't had to do much here today thus far in this game. Grayston Chula will get things started. But Christy Byer was right there trying to glance ahead for Evans. Let her a little too much, but Evans able to come back up with it. As they'll look forward, back, pass into the middle. Susie looking forward, goes out of play off of a Mountaineer stick, so Seton Hill trying to get their attack going here in the third quarter. Jade Taylor swings it into the middle right outside the circle, and quick move made and taken away. But now back into the circle. Back to the Mountaineers. And Madison Walensky. Into the middle. Right and waiting was Dybel. Worked towards the outside and pushed back down the field. And still a fight around midfield. Swung back to the middle. Griffin had a slap on it, and she comes up with possession. Have numbers. Forced a defender to come up. Dana Evans has it. Weaving down the side. But it goes out of play. Back. Turns around, Evans. On the far side. And fighting for it. Under a minute to go here in quarter number 3. It's now 3-0 in favor of the Mansfield Mountaineers. They've scored a goal every quarter in this game thus far. And back in. Dana Evans. Turnaround shot goes wide of the goal. Went with a swing shot. She was right outside. Was looking for a deflection in the circle. But instead that just goes wide. 4 seconds and counting left in this quarter of play. And that is going to do it for the third quarter. One final quarter to go. It's 3-0 in favor of the Mansfield Mountaineers. We'll be back in 60 seconds. This is Mansfield Field Hockey on Mountie All Access, presented by Visit Potter Tioga.
From court to court and lane to lane, under the lights or under the sun, no one delivers Division II sports like NCAA.com. The center of D2 is inside the NCAA.com hub, with exclusive highlights of every sport and live broadcasts of every Division II championship found nowhere else. Make NCAA.com yours, the home of Division II college sports.
Folks, make sure this week you check out Mountie All Access on Twitter, where Play of the Week is up, and you can vote for Play of the Week. This last week, you have your pick between Dana Evans' goal against Shippensburg or Corinne Reinhardt's goal for the women's soccer team against Millersville. Head over to Twitter, once again, Mountie All Access, to check out that and to vote on Twitter for which one of those plays that you will see that you believe is the play of the week. One final quarter to go. Mansfield has a big 3-goal advantage and has scored a goal in each of the previous quarters. Meg Griffin got her third goal of the season, her second goal of the game in that third quarter. Well, if I'm one for patterns, Mansfield's averaged a goal a quarter thus far today. And Mansfield, really, you look at shots, total shots right now, Mansfield's out shooting the Griffins 26-0. Seton Hill hasn't been able to get any offensive attack. Griffin alone, looking forward to Evans. She has space in front, pulling it sideways. Shot goes up, and the shot goes in. That's a goal for the Mounties by the goal scorer herself, Dana Evans. Dana Evans, that's her 15th goal of the season. And Mansfield has a 4-0 advantage here early, less than 30 seconds in the fourth quarter.
Dana Evans connects for the 15th time this season. An unassisted goal for the senior from Nazareth, Dana Evans, goal number 15.
Mansfield on the far side, looking forward, but it's tapped away. Bodie looking into the middle, and a great move made by Meghan Griffin. Weaving her way through, back into the circle and hit right back to her. She tries to charge up into the circle, but taken away. Michaela Chacon eventually comes up with it on the near side, looks forward to Byer. Byer saved it initially, but just a delayed whistle and back out to the Seton Hill Griffins. Works to the outside and attacking forward. Past midfield and now looking up to Newsom, but it goes out of play off of a Mountie, though. So the Griffins trying to find their attack here late in the game, but it's cut down by the Mountaineers once again. Continuing to inch their way forward. Caitlin Bodie on the far side will reset and have that first touch. She'll loft it high. Tapped down by Evans, looking towards Larissa Motz. Just a tad ahead. And now spun out of play. And Caitlin Bodie will take it. Kaylin Duke. In. Turnaround shot. Second opportunity. Gets by one, but it goes off a foot. And a great offensive attack is stopped. Molly Carbone. Swings. But can't handle it. And Mansfield takes over. Riddell. Looking forward to Evans. Into the circle. Spins around. Looking back towards the middle. Will have to force it backwards. Griffin gets by one. Griffin looking forward. Into the middle. Turnaround shot. Saved in front. And a corner coming up. Elizabeth Armbruster made a great save there. Got in the way, but a corner is coming up. In Mansfield, those 4 goals, once again, none of them off of a corner opportunity. And this is opportunity number 16. Turnaround shot rolls up. And unfortunately, that back cage, that one doesn't count. Griffin goes backwards. Now Radel goes backwards. Over to Bodie. Caitlin Bodie. Working her way down the side and taken away initially, but a whistle. And Mansfield keeps possession. Now into the circle. Turnaround. And couldn't get a shot off. Back to the Seton Hill Griffins. Works to the outside. Stopped by Duke. Duke looking forward for Evans. Evans trying to fight forward. Nothing doing. But a whistle. And back to Rachel Cobo and the Seton Hill Griffins. And they took off. Still trying to find their attack. Big swing looking forward. Goes out of play off of a Mountie stick. Mansfield looking for their 9th win of the season. And they have a 4-0 advantage right now in this game. And coming into the 4th quarter had outshot the Griffins 26-0. Evans rolls past one, taken away. Out. Duke shoots forward. Cobo trying to clear it out, but it's going to get stuck in that zone. And Colleen Roy eventually came up with it. Molly Carbone will restart things. $8:30 to go here in this one. Forward rolls past one. Out of the net to play the goal was Armbruster. Seton Hill will take over. This year, Mansfield Athletics is proud to partner up with UPMC Susquehanna to keep athletes on the field. Do not let an injury sideline you. Visit upmcsusquehanna.com/sportsmedicine for information on their sports medicine services. Quick touch, Wagner. Into the circle, Evans trying to fight for it, but rolled back out by Deemer. Duke back in and back out. Mark to the outside, stopped in front. And forward. Turned and taken away. Looking forward, here's another chance. Shot is blocked in front and hit out and charged out by Molly Carbone. This pass gets through. Colleen Roy. Turning on the Jets and pushing it forward. Seton Hill trying to find their offensive attack, but Hannah Meyer right there. Swings it to the outside. Sadowski chasing it down, and she's the first one to get there. Kaylee Melnick let that one just go, as Sadowski was the last one to touch it. Winsome Gadsden looks forward. Right there was Griffin. Griffin sliding it over, looking for Wagner ahead. Bounces off of an arm and a leg and eventually back to Mansfield. Maddie Walensky. Surveys the field and gets this one ahead. Was looking for Byer, rolls by her and out of play. That one high. Five minutes and 23 seconds and counting to go here in this game. It's a 4-0 lead for the Mansfield Mountaineers. They've scored a goal a quarter in this game. On working on that far side. Looks forward, Dana Evans. Spins by one and forces a whistle as that goes out of play. Michaela Chacon will get the hit. Drop back to Bodie. Back to the middle. And stolen away. And now Seton Hill on the attack, looking forward, but the pass led a little too much. Was looking for Kaylee Melnick. Four minutes to go. And Seton Hill trying to find that offense. Pushed forward. And out of her net to play it, Brittany Ryan into the circle. And a corner coming up for the Griffins of Seton Hill. This is their second corner of the contest. They were unable to come away with a shot on their last attempt in the second quarter of play. Now a defensive point of pride to try and keep that shutout. Turnaround shot, and will go wide of the goal. So Seton Hill trying to get something going here late and unable to on that trip. Walensky. To Byer. Byer weaving through. Forces a whistle. Sadowski looking for Riddell. Forward to Byer. Byer tried to cross it to a cutting Brandy Goss, but it was not open. The Griffins trying to go quickly, pick up the pace. Sadowski fighting with Gatson. They'll have to drop it back. Dybel charging ahead and poked forward and able to draw the whistle once again. Walensky glides over and she will take it. 2 minutes to go here in this contest. Mansfield leads 4-0. Chacon. And that one goes out of play. Last off of Michaela Chacon, back to Gatson and the Griffins. Swung to the outside, 1:16. Into the circle. And forced back out. Mountaineers hold. And they'll push. Forward. And taken away. Griffin. Now back to Seton Hill. Charging up. There's Maddie Walensky. She's going to use her speed and charge forward. 30 seconds to go in the game. 4-0. Lofted high, gets by. And 19 seconds. They can take their time. That's 10 seconds to go. Seton Hills has possession. But Griffin is going to take it away, and she'll just play keep away. And the Mansfield Mountaineers are going to get that first win at home. A 4-0 victory over the Seton Hill Griffins. Mansfield improves to 9-3, 3-1 in the PSAC, and with that 9th win on the year, they have the most amount of wins as a team since 2007. So a historic day here for the Mountaineers as well. Seton Hill will fall to 1-8 on the year and 0-4 in the conference. And as we mentioned, Mansfield, the field hockey team, returns to action next Wednesday, the 16th, as they welcome Slippy Rock here to Karl Van Norman Field before traveling to East Stroudsburg next Saturday. That's going to do it for us here, folks. For my fantastic crew, I'm Drew Patrick saying so long, and we will see you next time.